All right, let's dive right in to another deep dive.
Always exciting.
This time we're looking at a Premier League match report.
Oh, nice.
And we're getting this straight from the Premier League website.
The official source.
Exactly. Their match report, it's West Ham United versus Manchester United.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah, it was pretty dramatic.
Oh, really?
It came down to a late penalty kick to decide it all.
Wow. A penalty kick to decide the match? That's always a bit controversial sometimes.
Right. So let's get into it. First, the basics.
Okay, yeah, let's set the scene.
The match was on Sunday, October 27th, 2024.
Okay.
At London Stadium.
All right, London Stadium.
The final score, West Ham 2.
2.
Manchester United 1.
1. All right, so West Ham got the victory there.
Yes, they did. A close one.
Yeah, close one, but, sometimes those are even more dramatic
For sure.
than, a big blowout game.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like it was a pretty exciting match.
It really was. And the match report, it just goes to show all the little details that really make these matches exciting and give you insight into, how the managers are thinking, the individual performances,
Right, yeah.
the whole VAR situation.
It's amazing how much you can get from just reading a match report.
Right, yeah.
A single match report.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it.
You can uncover so many layers.
Absolutely.
It's like detective work. You're looking for clues
Exactly.
about individual performances, the
Right.
pressure on the managers, the ever-present VAR debate.
Yep, all that. So we're going to dive into that.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right, so Manchester United, it seemed like they were dominating the first half.
Really? Okay.
But they had chance after chance after chance and just could not put the ball in the net.
So frustrating. I know that feeling well.
Yeah, you can just imagine the fans are getting restless.
Oh, for sure.
Players are getting frustrated.
You can feel the tension building.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's even this moment in the match report where they talk about Diogo Dalot.
Okay, Diogo Dalot.
Yeah, he had a wide open goal.
Oh, no.
And he missed.
He missed? How? What happened?
I know, it's unbelievable.
So close yet? So far?
It's like, how do you miss that?
I know these are the moments that define a match,
Right, yeah.
A single miss can completely change the momentum.
Absolutely. And that's
Yeah.
what makes it so exciting, I think.
For sure. Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if, is it a confidence issue? Is it a coaching issue?
Right, exactly.
What is it that causes those types of things to happen?
Well, yeah, sometimes it just comes down to luck, but other times it's about, making sure that you're making the right decisions in the moment.
And capitalizing on those opportunities.
Exactly. Taking your chances when they come your way.
Absolutely. So while Manchester United was blowing all these chances, West Ham, they were just biding their time, waiting for their opportunity. And then in the 74th minute.
Okay, 74th minute. This is getting towards the end of the match.
Right, yeah.
All right, so what happens?
Crysencio Summerville scores.
He scores. All right, so West Ham takes the lead. 1-0.
That goal completely changed the whole momentum of the match.
Yeah, it really does. You can just imagine the crowd going wild at London Stadium.
Absolutely. I mean, the energy must have just shifted completely.
Yeah, from that moment on, it's a whole new ballgame.
Yeah. But it doesn't end there.
Of course not.
Manchester United, just a few minutes later, just 7 minutes later in the 81st minute, Casemiro scores.
Oh, wow. So they equalize.
They tie it up.
1. 1.
Yeah.
All right, now this is getting really interesting.
Right.
We've had missed chances, we've had a goal, we've had an equalizer.
Yep. Everything's coming down to the wire.
What a match.
At this point, you're thinking this has got to be a draw, right?
Right. It seems like it's heading that way.
But then deep into stoppage time.
Oh, no. Here we go.
I know in the second minute of stoppage time, there's a VAR review.
VAR. Here we go.
And they award a penalty kick to West Ham.
Wow. Okay, so a penalty kick in stoppage time after a VAR review? That's got to be controversial.
For sure. And the thing is, there was 12 minutes of stoppage time.
12 minutes? That's a lot.
That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, no.
What caused such a long delay?
So the match report doesn't really go into detail about what exactly caused all that stoppage time.
Okay, so it's a bit of a mystery then.
A little bit.
We're gonna have to speculate a bit.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see. We know there were some substitutions.
Right.
There was the VAR review itself that would have taken some time.
Right, yeah.
And don't forget those 4 yellow cards.
Oh, right, yeah.
Their stoppages all contribute to that added time.
Right, 3 for West Ham and 1 for Manchester United.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if maybe there was a little bit of tactical time wasting going on, especially by West Ham once they took the lead.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they're playing against Manchester United, a team known for their late comebacks, so it wouldn't be surprising if they tried to slow things down a little bit, protect their lead.
Absolutely.
It's all part of the game, even if it's not explicitly mentioned in the report.
It's all that, like, unspoken drama.
Exactly, the unscripted drama that makes football so captivating.
It's true. And, you know, it's fascinating how all these seemingly little things can have such a huge impact on the match.
Oh, absolutely. It's the little details that matter.
Yeah. And speaking of impact, let's get back to that penalty kick.
Right, okay, yeah. So the referee...
David Coote.
David Coote, okay.
Initially, he didn't call a foul.
He didn't, okay.
But after VAR intervened, reviewed the play, a challenge by Matthijs de Ligt on Ings, he changed his decision.
Oh, wow. So VAR really had a decisive impact in this match.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a penalty to West Ham.
Yes.
Deep into stoppage time. This is it. This is the moment of truth.
Right.
Who's taking the penalty?
Jarrod Bowen steps up to take the penalty.
Jarrod Bowen. All right, I'm on the edge of my seat here. What happens?
And he delivers.
He scores.
Secures a 2-1 victory for West Ham.
Wow, what a finish. What a dramatic finish.
Talk about a dramatic finish, and made even more dramatic by the whole VAR intervention.
Right, exactly. VAR adds a whole other layer of complexity to the game, doesn't it?
It does.
On the one hand, you could argue that it led to the correct decision being made in this case.
Right.
But on the other hand, it definitely disrupts the flow of the game.
It does.
And it can sometimes lead to even more controversy.
You know, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
It really is. It's a fascinating debate.
And it's one that's not going away anytime soon.
No, definitely not.
And this match is a perfect example of that, you know,
right.
This match report.
It really highlights the ongoing discussion surrounding VAR's role in the game.
It does, without explicitly taking a stance, which I think is interesting.
Right, yeah. It presents the facts and lets you draw your own conclusions.
Exactly. And speaking of controversial, this loss puts even more pressure on Manchester United's manager, Erik ten Hag.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
The report mentions their poor start to the season.
Okay, how bad is it?
11 points after 8 matches.
It's not great.
It's their second lowest total ever at this stage of the season.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely cause for concern.
And, you know, to add insult to injury, this defeat came just a few days after they drew against Fenerbahce
Oh, wow, Fenerbahce.
in the Europa League,
Okay, and that's a tough opponent.
which, you know, they played their former manager, Jose Mourinho.
Oh, wow. So they're facing their old boss. That adds another layer of drama to it.
Oh, for sure.
All right, so it's not just the results, it's the context surrounding the results that's really adding to the pressure on Ten Hag.
Absolutely. You can just feel it reading this match report, you know.
You can practically feel the heat coming off the page.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder what's going to happen next.
Right. Is he going to be able to turn things around, or is this the beginning of the end for him at Manchester United?
That's the big question.
Stay tuned. We'll have to see how this unfolds.
Exactly.
Yeah, it feels like Ten Hag's really on the hot seat now.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, they don't really get into specifics in this match report,
Right.
but you can't help but wonder, you know, if his kind of insistence on this possession-based style of play, if that's maybe part of the problem.
Yeah.
Especially against teams like West Ham, who are totally content to sit back and let the other team have the ball and then wait for those opportunities to counterattack.
Yeah, they're very strategic, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And West Ham's manager, Julen Lopetegui, he made some interesting lineup changes for this game.
Oh, really? Like what?
Brought in players like Edson Alvarez,
Okay.
Lucas Fabianski, Carlos Soler,
Is there...
Konstantinos Mavropanos.
All right, so he shook things up a bit.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of changes.
Yeah, and I mean, the report doesn't like specifically go into how each of those players performed.
Right.
But they do mention that, you know, Lopetegui was really looking to change things up after a pretty heavy defeat against Tottenham the week before.
Yeah, they got trounced by Tottenham.
So it seems like he was really searching for that winning formula.
Yeah,
And maybe he found it against Manchester United.
maybe so.
I mean, this must have been a huge relief for him, you know,
Right.
considering it was only their second home victory of the season.
Right, only their second win at home.
Yeah.
And against a big club like Manchester United, that's got to be a real confidence booster.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, beating a team like Manchester United, it can be a real turning point
Right.
for both the manager and the team. You know,
It gives them momentum.
exactly. Gives them something to build on.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, you know, this loss for Manchester United
Right.
makes their upcoming match against Chelsea at Old Trafford even more crucial.
Yeah, no kidding. That's going to be a must-win game for Ten Hag.
For sure.
If they stumble again, the pressure is going to be unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. The media's going to have a field day.
Oh, they're going to be all over him, you know, analyzing every single decision he makes.
Second guessing everything.
And the fans are going to be getting restless.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to be calling for his head.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
All right, so let's talk about some individual performances.
Okay. Yeah, let's dive into that.
The match report highlights a few moments that really stood out.
Okay.
Alejandro Garnacho
Garnacho?
hitting the crossbar early on for Manchester United.
Oh, wow. So close.
No.
It's gotta be frustrating.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it just kind of shows their struggles with finishing,
All right, they had the opportunities.
They had the shots.
But they just couldn't convert.
They just couldn't find the back of the net.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, is it a coaching issue? Is it a confidence issue with the players?
Right. What's going on there?
Yeah, or maybe it's a bit of both.
Right, a combination of things.
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah, but something's not clicking.
Yeah, something's not quite right there.
There's also some praise for Bruno Fernandes's assist.
Bruno Fernandes, yeah, he's a creative player.
He is.
Always looking for that killer pass.
Yeah, and unfortunately it led to Delot's missed opportunity.
Right.
They say football is a game of inches, but in Delot's case, it was more like a game of yards.
Oh, man, how do you miss an open goal like that?
I know, it's unbelievable.
Sometimes you just gotta shake your head and laugh.
Right.
But hey, that's football for you, right?
That's the beauty of it, I guess.
It's unpredictable. It's full of those what-if moments.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly, and that's what keeps us coming back for more.
Absolutely, and on the West Ham side, Danny Ings,
Ings, yeah.
he came on as a substitute.
Right.
And made a real impact.
He did.
Won that decisive penalty, in the dying moments of the game.
Oh, wow. Talk about a super sub performance.
I know.
Coming on and changing the game like that, it's impressive.
Yeah, it was a clever move by Lopetegui to bring him on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ings' energy, his movement.
Right.
Clearly troubled Manchester United's defense.
Yeah, they didn't know how to handle him.
All right, so we've talked about, that dramatic finish.
Yeah.
The VAR controversy, contrasting fortunes of the managers.
Right.
Some individual performances.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I still want to talk about.
Okay, what's that?
Those 12 minutes of stoppage time.
Oh, yeah, the added time enigma. We've talked about some possible factors, the substitutions, the VAR review, the yellow cards.
Right.
But 12 minutes is still a really long time.
It is.
Do you think there's more to it?
Yeah, like what else could have contributed to that much stoppage time?
Yeah, were there any off-the-ball incidents? Any kind of altercations or injuries that maybe the report didn't mention?
Yeah, like maybe there were some heated exchanges between players or maybe even some, attempts to waste time that weren't explicitly called out.
Yeah, absolutely. All those things would add up, Prolong the match.
It's like this whole hidden subplot,
Right, it's like a secret story playing out beneath the surface.
Yeah, and that's what makes this match report so intriguing.
Absolutely.
Because it leaves so much to the imagination,
Right, it invites us to speculate.
Yeah, to fill in the blanks.
And imagine all that unseen drama unfolding on the pitch.
And, it makes you realize that even with this detailed match report, we're only getting a small piece of the full story.
Well, yeah, for sure.
There's always more to uncover.
Always more layers to peel back.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of football, isn't it?
It really is.
This never-ending source of drama and stories.
Yeah, it's a sport that constantly generates stories both on and off the pitch.
Absolutely. And that's why we keep coming back for more week after week.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Season after season.
So to summarize this deep dive, we've seen how a single match report can really reveal so much about the ebb and flow of the Premier League. We've seen the pressure on the managers, the impact of technology.
Absolutely.
The unpredictability of the game, and all those hidden narratives that lie just beneath the surface.
It's like an iceberg,
Exactly. You only see the tip, but there's so much more going on underneath.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
How much we can learn from just one match report.
Yeah.
This West Ham-Manchester United clash. There's so much to unpack there.
It really does give you a lot to think about. About, where these teams are headed.
Right.
Can Ten Hag turn things around at Manchester United?
Yeah.
Or is the pressure just going to become too much for him?
That's the big question.
It is.
And what about VAR?
Oh, yeah. VAR.
Is it making the game fairer?
Right.
Or is it just creating more controversy?
Yeah, it's a question that's going to keep coming up.
I think so, too.
All season long.
Yeah, and probably beyond.
Probably beyond, yeah. It's part of the game now.
It is.
And, I think that's one of the things that makes the Premier League so interesting, is that it's not just about, the goals and the wins. There's always something else going on.
It's about the stories,
the
the characters, the drama.
Exactly. It's like a soap opera.
It is a little bit.
but with real stakes.
Right, with real consequences.
Yeah. And on that note, I think we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
Given, the dramatic ending of this match,
Right.
the influence of VAR, the pressure on managers,
Yeah.
do you think the Premier League is becoming too reliant on technology and these external factors? Or is this just, the natural evolution of the beautiful game?
It's a good question.
It is.
Something to think about
Finish you off.
as we head into the next round of matches.
Absolutely.
Well, until then, thanks for joining us on another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep.
And keep watching the Premier League.
Absolutely.